Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Perry Howe. He's had 11 fights, 5 wins, 5 defeats, 1 draw. And yes, back out next weekend, Swindon against Jack Bannister in a 4-round fight. But last time out, you fought Spencer Oakman at Tolworth Recreation Centre and you lost in the 3rd round.
I did, pal. Good to see you there, though.
It was good. It was good, mate. It was good to see you finally. And what are your thoughts on your fight, and how do you think you performed?
Well, obviously not my best. I got stopped in the 3rd round, but no, can't take it away from Spencer. His shots were powerful. He towered over me. I didn't really check him out. We took that fight on about 5-6 days' notice tops, and obviously I've just got married as well. So
Congrats, pal.
Sorting everything out for that, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take that fight. And when I got in the ring with him, I looked at him and I went, oh, he's a big boy, isn't he? So obviously the plan was to try and get out of his way, not get hurt, and he managed to hurt me in the 2nd round. He caught me with a beautiful placed body shot, made me take a knee. I got back up. I think I took another knee because he was coming on strong. Because he'd smelt the blood. He smelt it. He knew I were injured. And obviously, when I went back to my corner the 2nd round, I said to my trainer, I said to Rob, I just want to finish the fight. I want to get through the rounds. But obviously, Rob had seen it and just he made the call to get me out of there. When I got to the corner, Rob said to me, remember, you're getting married in a month. I've got to look after you. And I went, yeah, totally respect you. So, yeah, it weren't my best performance. Really nice lad, Spencer. He's going to do well in the sport. I feel a Southern Area title coming his way soon.
100%. And did you not feel upset with yourself?
I didn't really, no. Obviously, we've just come off the back of the DQ decision with Billy Dennis. That's all been sorted behind the scenes and stuff. So I was just happy to get back out working. Wanted to get back out. I'll fight anyone, me, Sam. That's where I'm at, pal. I'll fight anyone. And I'm obviously now a happily married man, and I just want to get as many fights as I can in.
Good stuff, mate. So when you went down and then you got back up, did you expect him to try and get you out in the 2nd round? And you did well to survive that round 2.
Yeah, well, I think I did. And to be fair, in the 3rd round, I was smiling myself when I watched it back because I was still fighting. I was still there. But obviously, Rob knows me well, and he knew I weren't firing on full cylinders, and I probably would have took a lot more punishment in the later rounds. But I like to think I'm a bit of Rocky style. I would have took it out to the death. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what my corner team are there for. They've got my best interests at heart. They don't want to see me get really hurt. Like you say, I will get married a month later, and he knows my wife now. And if it would have happened to me, he'd have felt guilty. So that's why you need a good team behind the support. Because us fighters will just go to the death.
Yeah. And didn't you say you felt like your rib was broken?
No, obviously, last time my rib really got hurt was against Dex Bellman. And it was just the twins, but it did calm down quite quick after the fight. So I think it was literally just a really good place shot. Just not the muscle in the right place. There were a bit of swelling for a couple of days. But I went and seen doctor over there. I'm fully fit and I've been signed off, ready to go. So been working on that ab work, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, mate. And you've got Jack Bannister, another tall guy, he's coming off he's 1-0 with 1 knockout, and he knocked the guy out in the 1st round. Have you been studying Jack Bannister? No, and what have you
not concerned since Sam. What do you know about him? Give me some dirt. Come on.
Well, you couldn't. Well, he fought some guy from Scotland last time, and he just took him apart, really.
Did I?
Yeah.
Is he going to take me apart?
No.
No, that's what I like to hear. So, yeah, he's going to have to earn it with me in here.
Mm-hmm. So, that's a 4-rounder, and how excited are you to be getting back in the ring and just staying busy and just getting these fights in?
Well, that's what it's all about. I want to be as busy as I can now. Like I say, I'm 33. happily married man. I've got stuff going on. I'm sorting the house out for the kids. I'm doing everything I'm doing, but obviously this is my job, and I want to go out there and earn my pennies for my family, and I want to go out there and do myself proud. So, be turning up to Swindon, I believe, the fight next Saturday, isn't it?
Yes.
So, me and Rob will be taking a trip down south again, and we'll be going down there to go and do the biz.
And what can fans expect from you next week?
Oh, let's hope. Well, he's going to have to work hard to get me out of there. I'm not having another stoppage back to back. I'm not having it. So,
do you feel like you need to sort of box and move?
Yeah, obviously I'm not going to give away tactics too much because old Jackie boy might be listening, mightn't he? So, but obviously I'll take every fight as it comes, and obviously I'll deal with him how I see fit on the night, and obviously Rob will instruct me on how to deal with him. Because did you say he's tall, Sam?
Hang on, I've got his box rec up here. I don't know what it said. I'll send you a photo of him after and send the link to his fight.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So we'll have it. Obviously, I'll leave Rob to do all the digging on that side and that, and I'll just turn up to fight him. So obviously, whatever's put in front of me, I'll go and have a go for that.
And not many people go after fighting a 10-round fight, then a fight against an 8-0 prospect, then someone who's 3-0 back to back to back. But with you don't care. You just love a fight, and I just love a fight. Your record may be 50-50, but you can say you've been in there with everyone who's been thrown at you.
Well, Sam, you look at what's happening on BoxRec. I'm what am I ranked at minute? About 27th or something.
27th, yeah, mate.
Yeah, 27th today, and I've had 3 back-to-back losses, and my ranking hasn't really changed. Why is that? Because of the caliber of fighters I'm fighting. You've got people around that weight and around my ranking that are maybe undefeated, maybe higher in the undefeated thing. But why aren't they ranked so much higher than me then? Because they're not taking these risks, are they, pal? So I'd rather go out there on my shield and take these fights against lads that obviously are coming to beat me up. And if it goes their way, it goes their way. And if it goes my way, my hand goes up. Happy man, doesn't it?
And of course, I'm not sure, did we talk about why did your belt, why do you not have your belt anymore?
So, after I lost the fight to Spencer, Howard Goldberg of the WBF messaged me the next day to say, you've had 3 back-to-back losses, and we're going to force you to vacate the title. The frustration for me, though, Sam, is they've not put a mandatory in front of me. I've tried to make a fight happen with that WBF title many times. I saw that
because last year you were like getting these fights booked, and then they just fell through, didn't they? I saw that.
Well, what was happening? Opponents were wanting to turn up from foreign lands, and they was wanting me to pay them a big wage out of ticket sales to defend my title. And I was telling everybody behind the scenes that is my title. Why am I and my supporters having to pay to defend it? It shouldn't work like that. So opportunities kept falling through with opponents. I wasn't willing to make my supporters pay for somebody to come and fight me for that belt. So it was a bit of a frustration. And all I kept saying was, if you put a mandatory in front of me, name a place, a time, I'd have gone to any country and I'd have fought for that title. And nobody could make that happen. And the frustration since is, and I'll not name names, but I've had promoters on the phone since saying they will let me fight for that vacated title. And I keep saying, well, it should be vacated. So
I know, because that's your belt. You won it.
So why should I sell tickets to fight for a title I've already won and nobody's taken off me, Sam? That makes no sense, does it?
And the amount of fights, opponents that have fell through as well.
Yeah, well, I'd be curious to see who does end up fighting for them titles, Sam, because whoever ends up with the WBF Cruiserweight international title, they should really be fighting me, shouldn't they? So I'd be intrigued because No, nobody's put mandatory in front of me, and obviously I'm sat here now. Obviously I'm now former WBF international champ. Still got my belt though, so little tick in the box.
And you've challenged for the central area. Do you think you want to win the central area, and then like you've had 2 belts in your career?
I wouldn't mind another crack at the central area. There's a couple of options out there, aren't there? Let's be honest. Sheldon McDonald's there. You've got Sonny Taylor there. There's a couple of rubbers. I'd rematch Ricky if the price was right. There's a few options. So I don't know what Ricky's doing with the central area at the minute. I believe he's obviously, hopefully, going to defend that at some point, or he might move on to something else. We don't know yet. Obviously, I've not spoke to Ricky in a bit, but I'll catch up with him. I'm hoping to get some rounds in with him sparring, to be fair.
Good stuff.
So we'll see what's happening with that. But yeah, there's a good pool of us in that mix for that central area, and I'd quite.
I think he might be looking at the winner of the Vidal Riley fight next week, maybe.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. So I
Do
wish
you
him all
think
the best.
Vidal will win?
Yeah, I'd say so, don't you?
Yeah, I reckon he should get the stoppage.
Yeah, I reckon so too. But it's a funny old sport. This I don't like to put my neck out there and put the full on this because you just never know, do you?
You just never know what opportunities you can get.
That's it, mate. That's it. But yeah, so I'm just about enjoying my career now. Like I'm trying to find the work-life balance. So I've just been married and been spending a lot of time with the family as well as training and doing what I'm doing. And I'm just enjoying myself, Sam. I'm living the dream. I was a 10-year-old boy once and I wanted to be a professional boxer, and I'm doing it. So I'm going to enjoy doing it.
Did you get to? I'm not sure if you watched it, but have you watched Sheldon's fight from the weekend?
No, I didn't. But obviously, I've got mutual friends with Sheldon, and I got reported back on it, and I've seen the highlights, and he done really well, didn't he? Because I think he got put down one of the rounds, but he won every other round, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the lad he was fighting were a big lad, and I do think we got offered that fight.
What one?
Against who Sheldon was fighting.
That Julian Wilson.
Yeah. I think Rob got a phone call about it. But it didn't match up. I was busy that weekend or something. I can't remember what it were, but it was a few weeks back. But obviously, Sheldon's gone on to do the business, which I'm very happy for him. I like to see everybody succeed. But obviously, there might be a time me and Sheldon has to come and strap up.
Yeah, you never know. You might have to fight. So do you view, like, because you had some mutual friends with Ricky and, like, the lads near your area,
Yeah.
do they give you some tips? Or do they just stay neutral?
Not really. I'll be honest with you. I don't really ask for them either. The people that know me and Ricky, when we fought each other, they were a lot of mutual friends. And
So
obviously,
did they get tickets off you or Ricky?
Well, we had a bit of a split on it. So obviously, there was some went to Ricky, some went to me. And then we were having banter about who took which ticket sales and stuff. And it were all just fun and games. But I sold the most tickets. That's all Ricky needs to know. He got the belt though, didn't he? So who's the real winner?
Would you run that? Would you like to run that back?
Yeah, when the timing's right. Like I said, anything domestic like that, a 10-round title or like an 8 to 10 rounder, I want at least a 2-3 month camp for. So as well as the selling the ticket side, I wouldn't want to turn up half-hearted. I'm not making excuses with Ricky. Ricky beat me fair and square. But at that time in my life, I'd just moved house. I'm doing everything. If I was to rerun it back, I'd literally go and put a bed in the gym and I'd live there for 3 months. And then I just wouldn't come out until I was ready to walk through him, Sam. So obviously life gets in the way sometimes, but Ricky's the same. Ricky's a family man. Sheldon has commitments. We're all the same. And it's finding that balance between your boxing career and other commitments. You know what I mean?
And do you, when you fight, is there like any? Do you still get nerves when you fight?
Yeah. I always say I get nerves. I feel like the more fights you have, the easier it is to deal with the nerves. So I'd tell any fighter that says they're not nervous, they're either lying or they shouldn't be doing it. Because end of the day, you're going in that ring and you're putting your life on the line. And the fact is, for however long that fight is, someone could get really hurt, and you've got to respect that decision. So if you're not going in there in the right mind frame, then you shouldn't really be in the sport, in my opinion. I know there's the odd crazy fool out there that he just doesn't care, they'll go. But my thing is,
Such
if I
as the
didn't,
journeyman. I mean, geez, the amount of fights I see them
yeah,
week in, week out. I mean, they get
it's just like
sometimes
popping
they
to the shop for a pint of milk for him.
yeah. I mean, one of them got dropped, and then he's like, "Oh, it was a bit of a slip." I mean, you see the shot. He said he got caught with like a big left hook, dropped him, and he said he's fine. Like he just got straight back up, like nothing happened.
Well, I'm hoping to be like I'm coming full circle. So the first 10 fights of my career, my friends and family, my wife, they all come along. The last fight I had with Spence, that was my first one of not taking anybody with me, just treating it as a job. And you know what? It's quite nice. So like,
What
I'll
about
go.
that Billy one?
Pardon?
You did have some people there, didn't you, when you fought Dennis?
Yeah, well, that were it. So obviously, I took a few to the Billy Dennis because we only over in Oldham. Took about 20 years. And yeah, we got away. But obviously, this one on the short notice and that, I just come along, didn't I? I've seen you down there. And I quite enjoyed it. We got a Burger King on way home after a fight.
Did you
Triple
catch the
125.
Crawford fight?
You are?
Did you catch the Crawford fight?
I shared that way, but I was too tired anyway, so I got up next day and I watched it back. But Rob made me drive home. Do you know what I mean? I just fought and I was driving home. He went, "You've only done 3 rounds. You're all right, you know." But it's all part of enjoying the experience now for me. So same again next week. I've got my fight kit in the wash as we speak, just getting ready to go. I'll get the bag packed next week, and then next Saturday we'll jump in the car, we'll get down to Swindon, and we'll go and punch Jack up for 4 rounds or less.
And did you enjoy fighting on the Dean White show?
I did, and you know what? It's the first time I've worked with Dean and everyone down there. Really good setup. Security absolutely bob on. Everybody was really well behaved, and that's what you want at a show, isn't it?
He does good shows, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. Total respect to him. So if he's listening and he's got any more fights lined up, let me know.
And with your fight with Jack, have you got anyone coming down? And is it your first time working with Nielsen?
Because I'm in the away corner, I've not even asked for any tickets. Obviously, anybody who's about, I've got pals all over the country, so I think I've got pals in Swindon anyway. If you do want tickets for the fight, you're more than welcome to get them off Jack. I don't mind who you're supporting. Just come down, enjoy the evening, don't you?
And enjoy a good night of boxing.
That's it. Are you going, Sam?
I'm not sure.
It's a bit out your way, that one.
I'm not sure how far it is, but we'll see.
Swindon, yeah. Well, we'll see. Like I said, I think it's about a 2-hour drive for us, 2.5, 3 hours. Rob driving, it'll be 4 hours, so I might have to take over.
And in your team, I think Amy got the win, didn't she? On the win?
Yeah, she did amazing. I'm well proud of her. So
did you watch it?
No, I've watched it back after we've had it. Someone videoed it for us. And
do you mind sending it to me? Because I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I'll just have to ask permission that I can. But if I do, I'll get it sent across. Okay. But yeah, no, she done fantastic. It's her first win of her career. She's worked really, really hard to get in that position. And total respects to her. So I seen her in the gym on Monday after the fight. Big smile on her face, filling in on the details behind the scenes and stuff. It sounded a bit of an eventful evening, and she got her hand raised. So fair play. And that bird she fought was, I believe, something like the WBC Indian champion. Yeah, so fair play to her. You'll have to get Amy on and let her talk about it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send her
she's got a big fight as well lined up already. She's back out already. She's like you, always wanting to fight the best.
That's it. That's what Team Riley's do. We're not afraid of no one.
Is Thomas also fighting the same night?
Thomas Crowder is fighting on. I'm trying to remember the date because I'm having tickets off him. This is what we do. We all support each other. So I know. Yeah, I believe Thomas is on the same show as Amy, isn't he? So
2 wins.
Pardon?
2 wins.
Tom, obviously, all day long. So he's absolutely smashing it. One of the nicest lads you could ever meet as well.
And of course, also next week you've got Canelo Charlo. Would you watch that on the way back or just see?
Possibly. What time's that on?
Probably silly o'clock, like 4, half 4, 5.
Well, depends how long it takes Rob to get us home from Swindon, doesn't it? But if not, I'll have it on phone right now. So,
Who do you think wins?
hard on that. You'd say Canelo, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Canelo.
Yeah, this is it. It's you go with your gut, don't you? And my gut says Canelo, but you never know. Someone out there probably argue with me. But this is why it's a good sport. There's always somebody else's opinion on it, isn't there? So.
And also Joyce Zhang. Do you think Joyce can get the win this time, or do you think it's repeat?
Oh, that one is an odd one to put my line on. I wanted to get on that undercard as well. So I was
Who
a bit
did you
annoyed.
want to fight, or can you not say?
Oh, there were two. There were two cruisers on there. I can't remember names now. I think they
Eric
were.
the guy you fought for the WBF titles fighting on that show.
Yeah, he's got a go, hasn't he, Eric? Yeah. I wouldn't mind have been in Eric's position. And then I think there's two cruisers on that, or they were.
Aloys Jr. and Tommy Fletcher.
That's it. I'd have rather go on either one of them. I wouldn't have minded the Tommy Fletcher fight, and I'd have took the other one as well. So I want that big show at Wembley, don't I?
I'm sure you'll fight on the next one, mate.
You are?
I'm sure you'll fight on the next one.
Well, I'm telling them, I'm calling them out now. If they, once they do the business on that one, Perry Howe's waiting. Get them to get in touch with Robert Riley.
So they step up.
Yeah, well, this is it. They've got to start stepping up to lads who want to actually have a go with him, don't they? Come on.
Yeah. So, do you think Eric could cause the upset on the weekend?
Eric could always cause a upset because I felt that right-hand of his and it's pretty strong. And I think he's got a lot of knockouts on his card, hasn't
he? He hits. He can hit. I mean, I've seen a few of his knockouts.
He's a do-or-die fight. He rarely wins on points, but he does get quite a lot of knockouts. He's due a win. He's had a big losing streak now, hasn't he? So I'd be nice to see Eric. Eric's a gentleman as well. Absolute top bloke, Eric.
What's your thoughts on Tommy Fury v KSI?
My thoughts on any of this YouTube boxing is it's scandalous, Sam.
I mean, I'd give up with Tommy now. I mean, what is he like going in? We'll get onto his Tyson in a minute because I think that's a load of rubbish as well.
We're all getting bored of it, aren't
we? Yeah, I mean, Tommy. I mean, if he's there, like try to follow Tyson's footsteps, but he can't because he fought Jake Paul. Yes, and I thought when he beat him, I thought he would come back to like
mainstream boxing.
Yeah. And then he's gone on and fought KSI. I mean, I just question it. Is he just there for the money fights now and just?
Well, he's got to be, and I don't blame him. But this is the problem with these kind of fights. They're making it harder for lads like me to get anywhere. So you've got Tommy Fury and Jake Paul both turned professional around the same time as me, and I called Tommy Fury out from day one.
Yeah,
I'd still think I'd beat Tommy Fury now. And he's not great, and he knows he's not.
If the phone rang tomorrow saying to fight Tommy, you would be there, mate. Honestly,
I'll be there tomorrow. But kits in wash, like I said, I'll pack it up. We'll go. But they obviously the money side of things is taking over, and the pantomime to the sport. And for Tommy Fury to be ranked, I think he's around 17th in cruisers now by beating Jake Paul for a made-up title.
Yeah.
It's a bit embarrassing. It's not doing the sport any justice. All these that say, "Oh, it's putting fresh eyes on the sport," well, they're not the eyes you want on the sport. If the kids are believing that these are proper boxing fights, then it's not the way I want the sport to go. I think the sport should be from the grassroots.
And the funny thing, and the annoying thing is for you guys that this because Jake Paul's the name he is, and KSI's like got millions of followers on YouTube, Instagram, that they get paid way more than people who've been boxing all their life.
Yeah, well, they'll have made more off sponsorship deals and everything just before the fight, before they even get in the ring. So the fight person's probably just a tip on the iceberg anyway, what they get. But it's business-wise, I can't fault them. If I got offered the opportunity, obviously I'd like a piece of that pie. So it is what it is. But like you said, I think Tommy Fury needs to decide what he wants to do. He should either retire or he should. I'd have more respect for him if we start taking on the top 10 cruisers, top 15 maybe. Even me could use me as a warm-up fight. Do you know what I mean? At least he's coming back to credible boxing fights. But the reason he won't is he knows his limitations. So when he beat Jake Paul,
and he got dropped by a jab as well. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, this is it. He nearly got knocked out by Jake Paul, which embarrassing. Like, Jake Paul has improved a hell of a lot, but he's still not a boxer, is he? So you put Jake Paul in with any top 10.
If you saw Jake Paul, I mean, Jake Paul's like, I'm fighting all these fighters, but you're fighting MMA fighters, not boxers.
Yeah.
And Nate Diaz, I mean, I'm not sure, you probably didn't get up for it, but I did, and it was honestly, I mean, the state of it. Nate Diaz was pretending like he was hurt, and he was like, with his head. I mean, embarrassing. You should.
So pantomime, Sam, and like you say, us proper boxing enthusiasts, we want to see proper fights, don't we? So that's where I want the sport to go now. The sport's getting a lot of discreditation for these pantomime fights.
And now lots of failed drug tests are coming in, especially from Sokowoski, the journeyman, who, in my opinion, still beat David Adelaide. But he's retired. Yeah, one of his drugs tests came in from fighting Clark last year, positive, and they banned him from 3 years, even though he's retired. But yet Conor Ben is fighting Saturday. Magically. It's just magic, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is another thing. The drug tests are a bit of a dodgy one because they're above my level at that level, because the stuff that they're getting tested for and stuff, I don't even know what the names of them are. Do you know what I mean? They all these, whatever they are, performing enhancing drugs and stuff, and there's always somebody coming up with a new one, and they're trying to catch them out and do this. And half the time, I don't know. So I do genuinely believe there's some false positives. I do believe maybe some of it's manufactured. I'm not saying Conor Ben weren't guilty. I'm just saying
he's getting a bit weird how loads and loads are coming now.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean.
Some of them got to be false, and then some I still think there's like a few that will generally be positive, and generally some will be negative. But you saw Solani Tete knock out Cunningham last year, and he was on it. Brutally knocks him out, and they've only I think it was on Saturday or Friday the other week, they put it as a no contest. But I mean, come on, I mean, he could severely have hurt.
Well, I also think it's just not a good example to be setting either. Like you said, you look at the top fighters that are getting caught with stuff in the system, and it's not portraying a good one for the next generations. I'm an old school where no matter how well I were doing or what was in it for me, I'd rather just lose, like, genuinely, than have to take something that's going to give me an edge over my opponent. When
I'd prefer to get if I was a boxer, I'd prefer to get knocked cold, like spark out, than knowing that I've took like an illegal substance and won.
Yeah, well, that's it, mate, and that's
because
called
you're not
integrity.
cheating.
That's why you'd be a good boxer, mate, because that's what it's about. It's integrity and honesty. And the thing is that is worth more to you than anything. So
I mean, that Sokowoski admitted that he's done it. I mean, yeah, well done for admitting it, but you shouldn't have done it in the first place. So still, don't give him any credit.
Well, yeah, that's it, mate.
Because he still fought, and then he's like, just
And I want the legality of it as well. If he's took something like that and then his opponent got killed, is he held liable? Because he's cheated, hasn't he? So it's shady. But the way they should get rid of this is all these big fighters, they should be testing them like way before the fight, and then it should be
Yeah, as soon
cancelled.
as it gets announced, do it.
That's it. I
Because
don't
these
get.
results are coming back. I mean that Sokolowski fought that Fraser Clark in, I think it was November. I mean,
Yeah,
just,
it's
I mean,
taking ages for results to
and
come
that
back.
Robert Helenius still fought AJ, and he was. You may as well have just stuck it. Still let Dillian White fight them.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's it, Paul. It's a crazy sport sometimes, but like you say, for all its bad points, it's still there in my heart. I'm trying to do my bit on my little bit where we get the kids through and we show them the right side of the sport. And obviously, next generation coming through, we'll see what the future holds for the sport. It has got to move with the times, but it's also got to move in the right direction.
Can we mention, like, just give a little mention to your fight, maybe in November or?
Yeah, I'm hoping. We'll get a little tease. All them out there that know the areas will know what I'm on about. But we might be going to Hull for a good domestic tear up. So you've only got to check the rankings and know who's there. And I think Sam's clued up enough. He knows, don't you? So I believe that fight's concreted in. I'm just waiting for an announcement off the
That
home
be
track.
in November, or can you just not?
Yeah, it'll be November, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, good stuff, mate. Good stuff.
So I'm keeping busy, and I might even have something lined up in October. So I'm just playing about with something.
See, I
So
mean, but you never know. Perry might have 10 more fights by the end of the year. I mean,
10.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I won't put it past me. I've said I want at least one a month, at least. So that's my aim. So if I could get 12, so remember this combo. If I can get 12 fights from now till this time next year, I've achieved that answer. So if I speak to you this time next year, I want to be at 24 fights. 20, 23 maybe, 24, 25 we've tried. It'd be nice to get to 25 before next.
So what do you reckon for the rest of this year? You've got next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
So you got Jack, hopefully the one in November.
Yeah.
And October.
TBC for October. 90% November beginning. Maybe another one November before it's out, or December. Then we'll enjoy Christmas.
So maybe 4 more fights.
Possibly, yeah.
Good
so
stuff.
Like I said, all the fighters out here want a piece. Let's go and have it. Come on, that's what it's about.
And do you want to thank, as always, whether that's sponsors, managers, anybody?
I'd just like to thank all my sponsors. I've currently started a day job with one of my sponsors. I've actually got his t-shirt sat here. Steel City Gutters, Joel, he's been keeping me in a day job. So thank you very much for that. I've been up and down the ladder, doing gutter installations here in Sheffield. So I'm enjoying my new job, and it's obviously balancing well to get training in the gym as well.
And good luck next weekend, mate. Rooting for you.
Legend, Sam. Take it easy, mate.
Bye, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Goodbye.